Good morning, children. Hope everyone has done your activity and you have written your question and answers of the last lesson, the living organisms, characteristics and habitats. Isn't it? 4 PDF were sent, 4 classes. So you might have written the question and answers. Please revise those question and answers. Saturday you may have the test, sleep test 1. Okay. So now let us start with the second chapter or the 10th chapter of the second semester, that is motion and measurement of distances. So first let us see what is meant by the word motion. So motion means it is nothing but movement. Movement from one place to another. So now every day you come to school, isn't it? How do you come to school? Some come by walking, some come on 2-wheelers, some come in 4-wheelers, some come by bus also, some students, isn't it? So like this, what is the means of transportation by which you come? So different students come by different ways. Some may come on 2-wheelers, some may come on 3-wheelers, that is auto, and some may come in the 4-wheeler, that is car, and some may come on bicycle also. You might have seen, isn't it? Bicycle, you get it into the school and you keep it in the cycle stand, and as you're going you will be taking it again in the evening back. So now this is called the movement or the motion from one place to another. That is the car, the bus, 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, 4-wheelers, bicycle, all this will help you to move from one place to another place. So in this way you will be moving from one place to another. So what is this? This is called as the transportation. What it is? Transportation means moving from one place to another. Now another example you can take. Now you had holidays for Dasara, isn't it? Then what did you do in the holidays? Some might have gone to your villages, some might have gone to the other places, isn't it? You might have enjoyed your holidays. Now still some are there who have gone to celebrate the festivals and all. So can you tell me how did you all go? Either by your own vehicle or by means of bus or by means of train or by means of aeroplane. Some might have gone, isn't it? Nowadays you have the facility of the aeroplanes also here in Gulbarga. Flights are available, isn't it? So here this bus, car, then train, all these are the means of transportation or modes of transportation. Then other than that, now this at present we are moving like this from one place to another by these vehicles and all. But in the, do you know, in the ancient times or in the olden days how the people used to travel? They were not having all these facilities, that is buses, cars, trains and all. So what happened at that time? How the people were traveling? They were traveling by walk. With the legs they used to walk from one place to another, or they used to use the animals to carry their goods or luggage, whatever it is, and they used to walk behind those animals. You might have seen in the old movies or the pictures and all. Have you seen how they move from one place to another? They just, what they do, the animals will be in front of them and they will be moving with them. So whenever they are tired, they stop it. Even the animals will take rest, and even the people who are going from one place to another also, they take rest for some time and again they start moving. So like this they used to spend hours together and days together to move from one place to another. But nowadays what it is the easiest and the fastest means of transportations are available. You can go either by car, you can go by bus, you can go by train, aeroplane. This is the fastest means of transport, isn't it? So nowadays we are taken. So how this came into existence, how these vehicles were introduced and all, let us study in this lesson. So here is the slide showing the bullock cart. So here in the olden days the people used to move from one place to another like this. So this is called the wheel, and these are the animals, ox, and the person will be riding it. So these are called as the bullock cart. Then this is a, already you might have seen also, or you are coming also, some of them might be coming to school also by bicycle. Then this is a truck. So lorry also you can tell it. In that you can see the goods will be taken from one place to another. How heavy it will be, isn't it, on the road and all. When you are going, you might have seen the lorries full of loads, isn't it? So like this, trucks will be there to take the goods from one place to another. Then you have train. So how the train will run? There will be rails, tracks will be there on which the train will run. So this is a train where number of people can travel at a time to many parts of the country. Then this is a bus. You might have traveled by bus also. Then here is a boat, and this is a ship. This is a aeroplane. So for transport along water routes, so there are three ways of transport. You might have studied in your lower classes, that is landways, waterways and airways. These are the three means of transportation. So for transport along the water routes, what is available? Boats were used from ancient times. That is, in the olden times they used to use the boats. Just now I showed you how the boat is made. You might have seen how their body will be there, like streamlined, so that they can move on the water. To begin with, boats were simple logs of wood. So these boats were made up of what? Logs of wood. You might have seen also, here also in Appa garden and all, you have the boat. Some are made up of wood and some will run with the help of the engine also, in which a hollow cavity could be made. Later people learned to put together different pieces of wood and give the shape to the boats. So how did they make the boats? They gathered the logs of wood. In that there would be a hollow cavity. Then they learned to put the different pieces of the wood and give the shape of the boat. You already have seen the shape of the boat. See here, if you are here. This is the shape of the boat, like this. Then after that, after the boats, then the invention of wheel was made. This made a great change in the mode of transport when the wheel was made. The design of the wheel was improved over thousands of years. Animals were put to wheels that moved on wheels. Just now I showed you in the picture, isn't it? What are the wheels? So you can see here. These are the wheels and these are the animals tied to it, and in this way they used to move from one place to another using the wheels. Then next came the invention of steam engine. So this steam engine introduced a new source of power. So railroads were made from steam engine driven carriages and the wagons. So then first the waterways were introduced. In that boats were used in the ancient time. Then afterwards they put together all the wood pieces and gave the shape of the boats. Then the invention of wheel. This also improved for after thousands of years. It was improved and the animals were used to pull these wheels so that the people could move from one place to another. The next invention was the steam engine, and this also introduced a new source of power. So this railway and all, trains and all, how they were running? Because of the steam engine. Driven carriages and wagons. So wagons means, you can see here, these are the wagons, like this. Train will be there. In this, the goods will be carried from one place to another. This is a wagon. Then after that, later came, after the steam engine, automobiles. Then this motorized boats and ships were used as means of transport on water. So to move for the boats and all in the water, no, instead of paddling and using the stick to move on the water, then this motors were introduced. So through that, the ship and the boats were able to move on the water. So this was introduced in the 19th century. The early years of 19th century then saw the development of aeroplanes. These were later improved to carry the passengers. So after these automobiles, then because of the ships, they had the motors and all. Then after that came the aeroplanes. Aeroplanes were who invented? Wright brothers, isn't it? Then they improved to carry the passengers from one place to another. Then aeroplane also is one of the fastest means of transport, isn't it? Within no time you can reach any part of the world. And goods, not only the passengers but also it carries the goods. Then electric trains, you might have seen here. This is a monorail. Electric trains means which will run through electricity. Then this is a monorail. Can you see here? This is called monorail. Then next you have the spacecraft, like this. So like this people were moving from one place to another. So electric trains, monorail, supersonic aeroplanes and spacecraft are some of the inventions of the 20th century contributions. So these all came into existence when? In the 20th century. That is the electric trains. You already some might have experienced the electric trains also. Then even this monorail. Then these are the spacecraft. These are the supersonic aeroplane or airplane. Can you see it in the picture? Yeah, you can recognize as you see it. Now we have studied about the means of transportation and the movement from one place to another. Now supposing you're going to school. Now your school is, you might be coming by auto, you might be coming by car and all. So how do you measure the distance? How will you know how many kilometers far your school is from your home or your home from school? So how do you measure all these things? So we think about it. So many questions arises in our mind, isn't it? How many kilometers we are traveling, like that and all. How will you know whether you can walk all the way to your school or whether you need to take a bus or a rickshaw to reach your school? Or sometimes when you go to the market and all, some whose houses are nearby, they go by walk, but whose house is far, what they have to think it, isn't it? They have to take a vehicle or a three-wheeler or two-wheeler, they have to take and go. So when you need to purchase something, is it possible for you to walk to the market? Sometimes people walk also, sometimes they use the vehicles also. So how will you know the answer to these questions, all this? So how did people know how far they have traveled and all, how to know it? So for these all questions, now we'll find the answers for this. So it is often important to know how far a place is, so that we'll have an idea how we are going to reach that place. Walk, or by take a bus, or by train, a ship, an aeroplane or a spacecraft. So it depends on the place where we are going. Suppose if we are going nearby place, we can go by walk. A little bit far, we go on two-wheeler. If it is too far, you are moving from one city to the another city, there you need the train, you need the bus, you need the aeroplane, or you may need the four-wheeler also. Like this you can move from one place to another, thinking the distance how you are going to reach that place. Sometimes there are objects whose length or width we need to know. So some objects will be there where we need to know the width as well as the length. So now supposing classroom is there, isn't it? Now your classroom, you have to measure it. What is the length and what is the width of your classroom? So if you are in the class, you could have done it now. Now instead of classroom, what you can do is your room where you sit and study, isn't it? That room you can see the length and breadth of your room where you are sitting and studying. So how will you see the length and breadth? You have to use the footsteps to count it. How you walk. Nowadays you have a watch, isn't it? How many steps you are walking, how many steps you have walked, all that will come on that watch. So like this you have to count it, 1, 2, 3, and see the length as well as the width of your room. So on the teacher's suggestion, they decide, this children, what did they do? They decided to measure the length of the desk. Now instead of classroom, what you can do is the table on which you sit and study. You can measure the length of the desk with what? Do you know what is this gilli and danda? You can ask your parents, they might have played, or still in some of the places in the villages and all, you might have seen the people playing. Actually it will be, one will be the small made of wood, and another one will be the stick. Big stick will be there and one small stick will be there. Using that they go on playing, and after that they measure it with that, how many steps you have made it made with that piece of wood, like that. So playing gilli danda with your friends, you might have seen, isn't it? So now you will know. If you doesn't know, you can ask your parents what is gilli and danda. Actually it is, I told you already, you can make it and you can play it. Nowadays children are not playing out, they're not coming out of their houses, so they doesn't know all these things. So when your parents and all, they might have seen when they were small, no, all these games were played by the children here in the neighborhood. So how is that they try to measure the length of the desk using the danda and gilli. So now how you have to measure your table using this gilli and danda. So instead of gilli and danda, you can use small stick one, and another one is big stick. Here also in the picture you can see, this is called gilli and this is called the danda. Okay, now if you are not seen, you can see in the picture, this is gilli and this is danda. So this is the desk where you are sitting and studying, or any other desk also you can take. So now what you have to do is measuring the length of a desk with the gilli and the danda, and here measuring the length of the desk with a different set of gilli and danda. So now the desk seems to be having the length equal to 2 dandas. Now supposing the length of this desk is 2 dandas, so this is 1 danda and another one, so it might be only 2 dandas and 2 lengths of gilli. So this is 2 dandas and 2 gillis. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Here it is shown in the figure, you see. This is shown with the dotted line. Here this is completely shown. So the length of this desk might be 2 gillis. Sorry, these 2 gillis and these 2 dandas. Drawing a line in the middle of the desk leaves each of them happy with half of the desk equal to the danda and a gilli in length. So now you will know half. This you have made a partition. So this is one part of gilli and danda. This is one part of another part of gilli and danda on the desk. After a few days, the marked line gets wiped out. So what happens after a few days, you're marking it, this line may disappear and it may become like this again. Can you see the desk here again now? When the line is not there or it has been wiped away. Now you have to set a new set of gilli and danda as you have lost the old one. So now what you had the old one, supposing if you have lost it and this line also is wiped off. Now again you have to measure how much the length of the desk is. So what you are going to do? Here is how the length of the desk seems to measure using gilli and danda. So now again here you can see in the figure 10.3 what it is measuring the length of the desk with a different set of gilli and danda. So this was one type of gilli and danda. This is another type of gilli and danda. So here you can see the size of the gilli is more, isn't it, than the here shown in the figure 10.2. Now measure with the new set of gilli and danda. Now with the new set we'll measure the desk. The desk length seems to be about 2 danda lengths and 1 gilli length with a small length still left over out. So now here what we measured in the first one, two gillies, two dandas. Now next we forgot, or that line was wiped away, and that was lost, gilli and danda. So now again after few days when you are measuring, what happens? It will be two dandas and only one gilli, and some more space will be left out. This is less than 1 gilli length. Now, so now what would you suggest? Now what is your suggestion? What has happened? So what you have to do is, you have to measure the length of the whole desk first. So what you have to do? First you have to measure the whole length of this desk. Then for the cricket also, you might have seen cricket wicket and the balls to measure the length, or do you think that this might create a similar problem? So cricket wickets, when they keep also, you might have seen 3 wickets will be kept and the distance will be measured equally, and then they put it, isn't it? So if you put it far, what happens then? There will be this thing, no? They may object. So before that only the umpire sees everything, whether the wickets are correct, the bowling and the batting place is correct, everything. It is measured, how many centimeters or how many meters it is, they calculated. So one thing they could do is to take the small length of the string and mark 2 points on it. So first what you have to, string means you have to take the rope. String is nothing but rope. So what you have to do, you have to take the small length of a string and mark the 2 points. This string will be the length. So when you take it, this you will show, the string will show the length of the desk. They can measure the width of the desk in the string length. So this is the length and this is the width. You can see it in the here it is 10.2 and 10.3 it is. So in the textbook, in the after the video is over, you can see it in your textbook. It is 10.4, where you will be measuring the length of the desk with the string lengths. So string will be there, I told you, like rope it will be. With that you have to first measure the length of the desk. One thing you could do is take the small length of the string and mark 2 points on it. This will be the string length. They can measure the width of the desk also in the length and width. Both can be measured with the help of the string. Then how can they use the string to measure the distance less than the length of the string? So now supposing if the string to measure the distance is less, so the length of the desk is more and the string is less. So what you are going to do, you have to fold it. They can fold the string and then they can mark it as half or 1/4 and 1/8 string lengths. So like this you can measure the exact length of the desk using the string. You might have seen in the shop and all, when you measure and take the cloth for your you stitching the uniform or any shirt or anything, whatever it is, you might have seen how they measure and take how many meters you need. Exactly they take, they mark it, they cut it, and then they give you according to that, isn't it? You could say that they should use the scale in their geometry box and solve their problem. So instead of using the string, they can use they can use the geometry box. In that you will be having the scale. So with that scale the problem will be solved. So now, reading about the way people used to measure the distances before such standard scales were made, we have to follow the different methods of measuring the distances. So nowadays what we do, we measure the distance with the help of kilometers and all. Earlier it was not like that. How people used to measure, they used to just tell it will take 2 hours, it will take 3 hours, it takes like that. They used to rest in between. The animals also used to rest, the people also used to rest. And to go for the Mecca and all, they used to take nearly about 3 months. But nowadays within 1 day or 24 hours or within 48 hours we are reaching that place. So there are so many occasions when we come across to need to measure the length as well as the distances. So I told you how to measure the length of your clothes. Now supposing now you are in which class? 6th standard. So how many meters of cloth do you need? Do you know? Anyone knows how many meters you need? Yeah, might be 1.5 for the shirt and 2 meters might be for the pant. Like this probably your parents will tell like this, or you only will go to the shop, the tailor will see it and he tells this much of cloth is needed for you for the stitching of the dresses. So the tailor needs to measure the length of the cloth to know if it is enough to stitch a kurta or anything, shirt or kurta or anything. Then what the carpenter needs? He needs to measure the height and width of a cupboard to know how much wood he would need to make its door. So now this here is a tailor. Can you see? Tailor needs to measure the length of a cloth to know if it is enough to stitch. Like this you might have seen already how he measures when you go to a tailor. Then next is a carpenter. So how the carpenter will know how to he'll be making the cupboards and all. So what is the height, what is the width, then only he will know how much wood he needs to make the door or make the cupboard or anything what is told. Or that even the table, desk is made by the carpenter, isn't it, with the wood. So he will tell you measuring it. So a carpenter needs to measure the height and the width of a cupboard to know how much wood he would need to make its door. Then next, farmer needs, you might have seen farmer, they'll grow the crops, isn't it? Farmer needs to know the length and breadth or the area of his land to know how much seed he can sow and how much water would be needed for his crops. So like this they measure here meter. This is a meter with which they measure the length and the breadth of that particular area, so that if you know how much it is, then so much of the seed only will be sown, not more nor less, so that they'll get sufficient space to grow. And water also will be, they'll be knowing how much that particular area needs the water for growing of the crops. Now supposing you are asked how tall you are. So every year you might have seen in our school, isn't it? From 1st standard till 7th standard, you will be having this thing. They measure your height as well as the weight. So now supposing you are asked how tall you are. So what do you tell? Now you will tell the last year what was told. There will be scale, isn't it, where you have to stand and the measurement will be taken. You want to tell the length of a straight line from top of your head to the heel of your feet. So how do you measure how tall you are? From the head. That is from the top of your head, not only head, top of your head to the heel of your feet. You have already experienced this, isn't it? How long is this broom? How wide is this desk? How far is from Delhi to Lucknow? How far is the moon from the earth? So like this, so many questions are there what you have to tell it. So all these questions have one common thing. Can you tell me what is that? They all concern the distance between the two places. So what is concerned here? What they measure? They measure the distance between the two places. The two places may be close enough, like the two ends of the table, or they may be far apart, like Jammu and Kanyakumari. So let us do a few measurements to see what exactly we need to do when we measure the distance or the length. So now let us see one of the activities given here. This activity will finish it here only. So all can see in your textbook or in the video itself. So some measurements. So here is the activity 1. So what it is, you have to make first the groups, but as you are not in the school, you all are at home, isn't it? These are online classes, so it is better you can do by yourself. So what you have to do, work in groups, and each of you do this activity one by one, so you can do by yourself. So using your foot as unit of length, measure the length and breadth of the classroom. So just now I told you, you have to measure the length as well as the breadth of the classroom. So as you all are not in the classroom now, where you all are then? You all are at home, isn't it? So what you have to do, your study room you might be having, isn't it? Take your study room and you can measure the length and breadth, or you can take your this thing, hall, dining hall, or you can take your drawing room or anything like this. You can do by yourself, isn't it? One day today if you are taking your bedroom, the next day you can take the drawing room, then you can take your dining hall. So like this, with the help of your footsteps. Do you know what are footsteps? One like how do you keep and you measure, no? That. So with the help of that you measure the length and the breadth of the classroom. It is possible that while measuring this, you may find some part remains to be measured as it is smaller than your foot. So sometimes what happens? The place will be, as you measure, some place will be left over. You try to measure it, but your leg won't reach there. Some space will be left. So now what are you going to do with this? You may find some part remain to be measured as it is smaller than your foot. So there what you have to do, you have to use a string to measure the length or of the part of your foot as you did it before. So instead this you can do it with the help of your leg with the footsteps, or you can take the string also, as we had measured in that activity 10.2. We had measured the length of the desk, isn't it? First we had measured with the gilli and danda, then it was wiped off, then we took the length with the help of a string. So like that, instead of footsteps you can use the string to measure the length of the part of the foot as you did it before, and you have to record your observations. So now here is a table 10.1, measuring the length and the breadth of the classroom. So what is that activity? Using your foot as a unit of length, measure the length and breadth of classroom. It is possible that while measuring these, you may find some parts remains to be measured as it is smaller than your foot. So when it is smaller than your foot, you have to use a string to measure the length of a part of your foot as I had told you. So now you have to record your observations here. So what do you do? Now name of the student. First column here you can see is name of the student. So what is the name? What is your name? You have to write your name. Supposing it is Raju, Ram or anything, write your name. Then length of the classroom. So how you are measured, no? Using the string or your foot. So how many foots is the length? Length means straight, isn't it? Then you have to write that so many steps here. Then width of the classroom. Then you have to count with the footsteps, and if it is remaining where your foot is not able to measure it, there you have to use the string. Now this is one of the students' length of the classroom and the width of the classroom. So as you are in the home now, so it was actually in the groups it was told to do it. So now what you can do is you can do it in your home. First you can do it, then you have your younger brother or elder brother or sister, no? Write their name and then see the length according to his or her foot, the length of the classroom and the width of the classroom. And next 3, you have to take the 3 readings here. Measure the 3 people can measure the length and the breadth of the classroom. If you are in the class, we have so many students, isn't it? Place won't be sufficient for you all. But now as you are at home, if you have brothers and sisters, I told you, first you do by yourself, then you take your brother, then your sister, and then you measure the length of the classroom and the breadth of the classroom and complete this table. So in the next class, I will be asking you whether you have measured and whether did you get the same measurement or you got the different measurement. Okay, you can complete the table, but you have to use the pencil for completing this table. Okay, now for today I'll end this class up till here. In the next class again we will continue. So today what all we have learned, just let us recall what we have learned in today's class. Okay, now today's lesson what I had taken was motion and measurement of distances. So first I had given you all introduction about what is movement. So movement is nothing but moving from one place to another. Then these are the ways of transport, how the ancient people were moving from one place to another using the wheel as well as the animals. Then by bicycle, this is called two-wheeler. Then this is a truck. So for the truck, how many wheels will be there? There might be 6 also, there might be 4 also, and there might be 8 also. So tires, wheels are nothing but here also again these are tires. Then train. This is also one of the fastest means of transportation. Then bus. This also has a wheel. Then here it is a ship as well as a boat. Both are there. Then aeroplane, fastest means of transportation. Then we had studied that water routes in that boats, how they are made in the ancient times. They were made with the help of logs of wood, isn't it? And these different pieces of wood would give the shapes to the boat. After that they invented the wheel, which made a great change in the modes of transport. Then animals were used to pull the vehicles that moved on the wheels. Not only the ox or the calf and all, but also the horse also was used to pull the vehicles that moved on the wheels. Then the invention of the steam engine. This also, because of this, the railroads were made for the steam engine to carry the loads as well as the goods of the people. So then this is a wagon where the goods are carried. Then later after that, after the steam engine, automobiles came. So here the boats and the ships were run with the help of the motors. This was also used as a means of transport on water. This was in the 19th century. Then developed the aeroplanes. So these also later improved to carry the passengers as well as the goods. Then electric trains were there, monorail were there, supersonic aeroplanes and spacecraft were made in the 20th century. So these are monorail, this spacecraft, supersonic aeroplane. Then next came how to measure the distance, measuring the length of a desk with the gilli and danda. I told you what is gilli and danda, you can see it in the picture itself. Earlier people used to measure like this, but nowadays what we have the meter, isn't it? Tape we have to measure it. Then tailor, what he needs to measure the length of the cloth to know if it is enough to stitch. So even the tailor needs the measurement. So what he uses, here also he uses the meter. Then a carpenter, he also needs to measure the height and the width of a cupboard to know how much wood he would need to make the door. Then next is the farmer. He also needs to know the length and the breadth of the area of his land to know how much seed he can sow and how much water would be needed for his crops. Then next, now we have studied all these questions. How long is the broom? How tall you are? Then how far is Delhi to Lucknow? How far is the moon from the earth? So for all these questions, we have to find the answer. So how it is measured? Either distance in kilometers or in the meters. Like that we measure it. So for that, there was an activity which is given to you. What you have to do is you have to measure the length and breadth of the classroom I said. So instead of classroom, I said you can do in your home, your study room. And you have to take the length of the 3 people. It might be you or your brother or your sister. Okay, so all of you all please see the video, read the lesson, and what the questions are sent in the PDF, no? Please read and keep it. Okay, thank you.